Hello there everyone and welcome back. It is time to continue on with my time with Necron, for I decide to delay my guide video for another week just because of the damn patch itself, surprisingly. There's so many tweaks that aren't even related to Necrons that kinda have to make me re-examine everything I've learned so far, especially since my Shroud fleet. I will be honest, I've been having a really difficult time trying to make this work just simply because of the capture mechanic change. Since all 5 of my Shrouds could potentially jump onto an objective, and a single battleship from my opponent can immediately just negate that process. Almost in the same time, I haven't quite checked to see if there's like a diminishing return for having like additional ships on the same objective, mind you. But either way, 5 time capture speed for a battleship simply means that my Shrouds are easily negated if I want to try the hit and run type of strategy and force my opponent to spread out. It's been difficult. I still really enjoy the playstyle though. It just warrants whether I can get some, or at least figure out how to get the most out of Scourge itself, our brand new Grand Cruiser. And I think I'm slowly starting to figure it out. It's a rough process since I'm not entirely certain if it has turrets similar to the Tau Protector fleet, or if it's a true 90-degree broadside arc. When you mouse over the, what is it? When you hover over on the weapons in game, it looks like a 270-degree arc as opposed to what you see with the scythes and the other ships there, where it's just 90-degree broadside arcs. So I need to play test that a little bit more when I have the time to actually look at it. But I like the potential. Otherwise is what I'm trying to say. But at this point, I'm going to do for today's video, I'm going to focus more on the Shroud fleet for the reason I just said. I enjoy this fleet, even if I may potentially be the underdog now with the changes. And I will see about playing more with the Scourge and maybe some tomb ships for the later videos. Oh boy, Corsairs. This could be interesting. I have Doom Scythes to potentially reveal them. Hell, we already seen one match where they had the Void Stalker in a previous video, mind you, so... Hey, wait a minute, is it just me? I know I changed to the red color there, but it seems like the color changed a little bit on these Shrouds, or maybe it's just the environmental effects. I'm a little more used to green with the Nova, what is it? I forget the sub-faction, mind you, the Novkov? Something like that? It's best for me not to try and remember it. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. But nonetheless, we did see how Corsairs worked before, but back then, I wasn't hindered by the Doom Scythes being fixed, or... Oh boy. Well, you should be okay, since my main means of detecting you is kind of ruined a little bit. But I can get beacons at least, that will help negate that some. Yeah, the legend... my notoriety precedes me, as it were. But nonetheless, I don't know what to really say. It's a whole new world just because of the mechanic changes, and a Void Stalker has the potential to negate my objectives really damn well. Anything that I capture at least. But I think what I'm going to relegate myself to, thanks to at least the scanner buff, I only need 2 of these to stay with my Shrouds, provided I can reveal them with the first scan. I'm hoping to give them a good match at least. If nothing else, if I do get vision though, the structural analyzer will be amazing with the stacked up critical hit chance. I'm just going to have to prioritize. With that said, I'm going to have a really hard time using these to grab the objective, aren't I? At least on the far right. Since everything is completely invisible, and I do have a beacon, where do I want to put said beacon, mind you? Well, goes without saying. I gotta deny the gas clouds for them using it against me, especially with cruisers or anything that's not a light cruiser. Since they don't have the convenience of a silent run to kind of serve as a fallback plan for when they get revealed. Might as well I'm gonna have to send some Doom Scythes to provide vision. But with the sheer amount of gas clouds, it's not all that effective for me.
The enemy has seized a strategic
and
area.
I do want to keep some available for the dang Void Stalkers too. And I need to listen for those Wraithbone shifts too. That's going to be important to pinpoint to a limited extent. And it's going to be really damn risky to try and grab this. I need my I'm going to need my Jackals nearby, since that's where I'm blind at the moment. And I can recall that, once I reveal them, it's probably a frigate, mind you.
The enemy has
Nope,
seized a
not
strategic
quite.
area.
So just recall that thing
You
now.
seized a strategic
It's something I
area.
learned after my Friday stream, is that you can actually recall your fighters now. This was a feature I was really eager to see in Battlefleet Gothic to at least prolong the use of the fighters, because I ultimately believe your opponent can dictate how effective the fighters ultimately are, let alone the bombers. So it's nice to be able to get some longevity out of them, although the inconvenience of locking my cooldown while they're out is a bit of a different story, mind you. So we got a lot of company here. Is someone stealing my fleet, maybe? I didn't capture the objective, mind you, but they don't have solid running up a bit currently, which is something good for me, sort of. So long as I could keep hitting them, although I'm gonna have to get invisible in a moment. Pay close attention. Okay, someone is taking my fleet, I believe. The nerve of them. Yeah, I'll get solid run in a moment. If I can reveal... Actually, let me try and reveal this Void Stalker some for good effect, because it is only a single... It's only a single frigate, and the R1 used this pulse earlier, so I have the convenience. I heard fighters, or torpedoes, so fighters, please do your job. Now, let's actually kill the frigate with that said. I've kind of been tunnel visioning a little bit on this, but kill the generator. Generator's really important for the long term here. That was not what I want. In the panic, I hit the wrong button for the mark. So, silent run. Thank God for fighters are still available. Doom Scythes are doing the work here. Mind you, I'm having a little bit easy since they're like 4 torpedoes as opposed to 8 of the Adriani, mind you. But they're doing their job immaculately. And I do have scanner pulses. I used all my scanner pulses, didn't I? Nope, I have another one available. I have at least one more. I am getting this thing shot down, so gotta be careful. I'm not quite in range, and I condemned this thing almost to death a little bit. Actually, ooh, generator's gone on that. I kind of want to prioritize that just for that alone. And maybe launch some Doom Sights for vision. Oh god. Thank God the point defense did what they needed to, and with the AEC armor I should be okay. I want to snipe this frigate though, because of their marking potential. Yeah, my opponent said they weren't the best there, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt there. Because, yeah, Eldar is definitely one of the harder factions to play, so I don't fault you one bit. But still, it goes without saying, I could die immediately if I don't treat these torpedoes seriously, let alone the pulsars. Now, you're almost dead. We haven't quite killed the frigate yet, so this is a good time for Dispersed Lightning Arc. And honestly, is my speed the same as the Void Stalker? Yeah, it is. So if that Void Stalker is too close, it's almost impossible for it to get away from me. Almost. So this is something good for me to note if I'm going to be pursuing these things in the future. But a lot of boring damage. Let me... Okay, gotta remember not to hit the wrong key. I think part of that is because the Necrons had their hotkeys swapped before with the dang scanner pulses. I've been playing Necron so long, I honestly can't remember if J was what Necron's scanner pulse was originally or not, or if they actually did fix it. I only know they fixed the solid running some. That's almost dead. It's a lot of health to get through though. Ow. The torpedoes are finally hitting, but thankfully this has ultimately been decided, but I'm gonna have to get some ships to grab objectives just in case. Well, I take that back. We basically have about equal score. And the generator's gone on this thing. I don't know if I focused the generator on the Void Stalker or not. I know the Auroras I made a focus of. But don't worry. If you see this video, know that I don't blame you. Eldari is difficult. It's fun though and satisfying. Especially when everything goes right. Which is a lot of the reason why Eldari... Even the Adriani is kind of obvious why they go with all cruisers, mind you, just because of the simplicity of it. It doesn't hurt to start off with that, even though I really dislike having a death bally fleet with even the Eldari as well, damn it. If once on once my Twitch stream gets onto YouTube, I think I make references on how I really don't want to play with the five cruiser fleet. But ultimately, with the patch change, the Wraith ships only have a single charge of their torpedoes, whereas the Firestorms now have 2 charges, and they fire 8 torpedoes for crying out loud. So my preferred playstyle of utilizing light cruisers for hit and run, I would argue is not valid anymore, at least for me. But I'll have to playtest it more to see. Ooh, Imperial Navy. This could potentially be fun, but again, they like to death ball with a lot of cruisers and potentially a battleship, so if nothing else, this might be the ultimate demonstration on how difficult it might be for me, as far as with the new capture mechanic itself. At least to serve as a demonstration, but hey, if I somehow were to win this, it'll be satisfying, needless to say, because I do go in, especially now, I go in with the impression that I'm kind of the underdog a slight bit, just because of the capture speed. I don't have the convenience on waiting for my opponent to make a mistake or spread out. I kind of need to be a lot more aggressive, it feels like. With that said, we'll have the 3 light cruisers go in here, and also, if you pay attention to the main map, the deployment zone is also completely different than what you see here. This is as far forward as I can actually deploy, which is a little annoying. And honestly, I hope I didn't accidentally rotate the camera. It almost feels like I have. I'm not sure if that's true or not, if I were to be serious. Nonetheless, Group 4, you'll go try and grab that middle point, or at least poke it, and you're going to help capture the 1 point there in front of our squad here. I'm a little bit worried the camera's been rotated, so I like to keep that the same just so it's a little bit easier to watch, as opposed to rotating it for just a more cinematic type of feel. It makes it easy to lose track of what's going on, I would argue at least. Maybe it's not the case for you specifically, but that's the main reason why I don't rotate the camera at all. Although some of the angles can be really damn good. Otherwise, anything else I need to do? I want this lightning link to do damage. It's my main wave. Oh god, now that I realize it, my opponent's almost never going to be spread out because of this configuration. They're going to be almost exclusively in this side of the map. It's going to be hard to do what I want. As far as capturing points and spraying up my opponent, this is going to suck just on the layout potentially. 4 ships. I hear booster and mission dissipator, so we know what the first upgrade is. Only thing I do not know is whether we are dealing with how many battleships. I want to say that's a Dauntless, maybe? I'm hearing it boosting still. Normally that sound cue would indicate would be a lot farther than normal for a light cruiser. Only exception maybe it might be an Endeavor or a Defiance maybe, because they are a little bit slower of a light cruiser after all. Now they all, well, they're in the gas cloud, never mind. I saw the silhouette briefly there, so that's what's going on.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And they capture that immediately, so I want to argue that's a battleship maybe there. I wasn't paying that much attention, but you could definitely tell what is what class of ship, at least, just by the capture speed alone now, so I'm getting some intel out of this. Let me turn these jackals around. I'm going to wait for a scanner pulse, just in case. Oh. Silly me, I forgot my reload. A little annoying, but I don't think I'm going to commit to anything yet. And this is our frigate light cruiser here. You could tell, really damn slow capture time. Ideally, I want to try and snipe. Okay, they're grabbing the point now, so I want to be close enough where I can kill this thing off. Ideally. And maybe these 4 ships can actually grab that objective for me by time. Yep, they got it. I want to make sure I'm close enough. Oh, you're capturing that fast, so you got like 2 light cruisers maybe? 3 light cruisers, okay. I figured they were light cruisers, I just did not expect there were 3 of them. And these are the macro turret ones, which actually they have pretty notable power in their macro turrets, if I were to be honest.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, how am I going to shoot this down? Actually, I should try and circle around behind them. Since maybe I'm going out of a limb here, but I think my opponent has no light frigates, or no actual frigates. Which will go well for his playstyle, I just need to grab objectives for that to matter. That's a bit of the problem. And I gotta get close enough to do damage too, so... I have engines prioritized on all three of them, right? So now I just gotta actually hit them and grab this objective. Yep, they can go over that way, I'm fine with that. Okay, we have a battleship there, so watch for that. Oh, multiple battleships, so... The question is, which is the flagship? That's probably an important question here, in this regard. Since I can deal with the macro cannons at this range, maybe not so much the lances. So you're not the flagship. I'm a little bit worried about that, if I were to be honest. A micro warp jump could screw me over quite a bit. It helps if I prioritize my targets, too. The battleship is so much more tempting, but I am not oblivious to the possibility that this thing might try and get out. Or actually, I might have a micro warp jump interruption here is what I'm trying to say. But nonetheless, if my opponent's going to isolate themselves, that's fine. Actually, let me just turn and engage. I am getting bored though, so let's not get too careless. Now, where's my flagship? This is a perfect opportunity to do a lightning link. A little bit reckless, I would argue, but the damage potential is definitely going to be worth it. Well, this is going to be a bit underwhelming. What is my opponent trying to do here? I'm starting to feel a little let down, if I'm going to be honest, because this thing's going to die immediately. Wow. I know I've been having a hard time with Necron, but even at these lower rankings, I've been fighting really dangerous opponents. So it must be a time of day thing if I had to guess. This does not bode well, but we got ourselves a battleship already. Yeah, you have short burn torpedoes, so take that super seriously and try and capture these points. Kind of warrant it. I still think I may have a little bit of difficulty just because of the capture time of these ships. But so far they only have they have 4 objectives. I take that back. I'm going to need to capture this quickly and recall all these doom scythes for good measure.
25% of strategic points.
So I'm going to assume this may be a bit of a newer opponent. Since I figured they'd be boosting forward. Okay. I talk about it and guess what happens? Well, they kind of knew about the booster to begin with. They had a mission dissipator after all. And they were using the effect. So I don't know what the thought process is. I'm trying to understand it a little bit. But as it stands now, I want to grab this point. Oh god, they're all battleships.
You have seized a strategic area.
I think what I do is just try and jump. Well, I was kind of hoping to have 2 frigates go over there and maybe grab a point, but not in this case. So they're all battleships. Wow. As brutish as it can be, and those torpedoes are still no joke. But I do have the scanner pulse to help in this regard some. And what is damage looking like? I lost only 1 lightning arc, so not a huge loss yet. Actually, let's narrow. Okay, you actually do have a frigate. Okay, I'm a little bit shocked. Considering all the battleships and a bunch of light cruisers that kind of serve as like point capture. And okay, this might be a window I want to try and attack the battleships. So we're crippling the engines, right? And I did scanner pulse. Just keep the pulses going and maximize damage. Okay. So we just had a nice convenient attack there against the 1 battleship, but this is not over yet. No armor-piercing ammo at least, so I'm good in this regard. I just don't think my Doom Scythes are going to be very effective with 2 battleships in their point defense, mind you. I would really like to kind of kill its engines to follow up with a potential lightning link, though. That's what I want. It's not what I'm getting so far. But my health's in fine condition. But it looks like they're focused on this one at half health, so I gotta watch it. And I got a beacon on me too. I did not pay attention to that fact. Bit of a failure on my part. But you can get into the gas cloud and hide. Let's see. And where's my flagship? Oh, convenient. Convenient positioning, but I'm waiting for the torpedoes. Ideally, I want to kill this thing. There. Oh, thankfully were those melted torpedoes? I think they were regular torpedoes because I did take a lot of damage a moment ago. Alright, Lightning Link is doing its thing. It's basically what's allowing me to kill these battleships super fast. It goes without saying, it's part of the reason why I need to wait for the engines to be critically hit, so at least they don't have the means to immediately get out. But let's see. Ooh, this one frigate's actually neutralized the point, so I'm happy with this progress so far. Now that we have all but this one battleship, let's launch the Doom Scythes. See if we can finish this thing off. Although, I gotta remember that my facing gets affected by the inertialess drive, so... Damn it! Apparently I misclicked. I got way too excited. Just was a few pixels off, and... none of them were actually attacking the dang battleship. Oh well, I could still capture this point and neutralize it. Since this is looking like a win there, since the score currently is pretty good, and we're about to neutralize this one point. Ooh, engines down, but sadly, the light cruisers only have 2 charges. So I get no more uses out of it. But boy, did it do work. I don't know what the thought process was of leaving the battleship there to take the full hit. I kind of was expecting, in all honesty, a micro-warp jump. It's kind of fair to assume that, though. But my health's looking good. You're the only one that's vulnerable, so I gotta watch if you're getting fixated on. But with reload, I have means to do full firepower. Actually, let me scanner pulse for more additional damage. Ideally, kill the deck since this thing's about to break in a moment. And it's the flagship too. Although, oh, I heard torpedoes. That was painful. Now imagine if those were cruisers and with a high energy turn, I'd be suffering a lot of damage potential here. Can I capture another objective? Oh, already the light cruisers grabbed that, so I know what you guys are doing.
You have accumulated 50%.
Break this thing, especially in front of their friends, and maybe I'll launch the Doom Scythes on these other ones. Oh, just rallied, okay. So my opponent knows what they're doing. And my engines, oh god, they're about to die. So I think I want to repair that, for good measure. And have it actually join these other ones here. At least minimize the damage and kill this thing off. Ideally while boarding these light cruisers and priming them for death. Finish it. And then once it dies, that's less point defense for me to deal with. Oh. Okay. I want... let's see. All of my Doom Scythes are ready. I gotta make sure I target it properly this time. There. I saw the red cursor icon, so that should be a good tell that I'm actually able to attack the dang thing. And with engines destroyed, there's no way that I can evade the Doom Scythes now. It's just a point defense that they have to rely on. I am splitting my damage a little bit, so you know how to fix this. Disperse Lightning Arc on everything. And we'll see how well these Doom Scythes do. Because I'm curious, well... oh, they're getting distracted by the torpedoes. That's... oh god. No! I wasn't paying attention to the health of this thing. We lost the shroud. This is uncalled for. This is the ultimate offense. I'm gonna have to murder you for this. But there are only 2 torpedoes. That's the one downside of these light cruisers. Sure, their macro cannons are really damn potent. At least higher burst damage. I haven't played with them enough to know how they compare to like a Dauntless, mind you. But the torpedoes are lackluster because only, like I said, 2 torpedo salvos, or 2 torpedoes per shot anyway. There, Doom Scythes did their work. I gotta be mindful to of that little factor to not let them get shot down carelessly by a bunch of battleships, because I think I lost 2 Doomscythe squadrons already. And apparently this squadron is for a now non-existent Shroud, because I can't recall it. And we're about to get our 3rd point. Oh boy, even after all this, I'm still at risk of losing. But thankfully this will change quickly. In fact, it's already over. Well, I was not, for the life of me, expecting 3 battleships. I still wonder what the hell the thought process was to leave the battleship back there to get isolated. I'm really confused by that, and a bit let down if I were to be honest. Nonetheless, it's still a serious threat. For crying out loud. I tried to grab points behind them, and it still was equal score even though my fleet was basically dominating against 3 battleships. Mind you, they were kind of spread out a little bit with the one I easily sniped, but still. It's 3 goddamn battleships. Okay, chaos. This could be rough for me just because of the potential of heavy lances. Keep in mind, I am utilizing a lot of light cruisers, so I am likely to suffer a lot of critical hits if I get spotted before I can actually do damage to my opponent. Never mind the fact that Chaos is like potentially the fastest fleet in the game, I would argue, with their all-ahead full there. So it makes it really tricky for me to keep up with them. And again, with the lances, I am kind of susceptible and vulnerable to that. Never mind the critical hits on engines. I only got 1 use of the pyramidical reconstruction, and it's on a 3-minute cooldown. So, this could go badly for me early on. With that said, because of their speed, unless I can kill their engines, which is something I'm probably going to have to focus on, Lightning Link is probably not going to be very helpful, but hey, I have to get really close for the transdimensional bolt to do effect too. And I don't want to count on them being like a slaughter type fleet. In all honesty, I mean, I don't know what would be the best skills anyway to use for this type of matchup, if I were to be honest. But we'll see what we can do there. If I can get in range and start damaging them and ideally get an early critical hit with the structural analyzer, then maybe I can at least isolate one of the ships and weaken their damage potential early on. Maybe. Goes without saying, where do I want? I think I deploy 2 of my Shrouds over here with the frigates and start capturing this 1 point. Although deployment zone again is being a little bit odd, but that's due to the patch change. It always throws me off. Hell. Let's see. I wanted to say that maybe I can't deploy any further, but no, I'm wrong. Alright. Not much else to do, but see what my opponent does. Did I wish good luck? Yeah, I did. I want to be sure I had proper manners at least. And what are we up against here? All I see is 2 ships, with the rest probably in a gas cloud. At least anything that's not a frigate or light cruiser. And I really am tempted to launch a Doomscythe to see about frigates, but I actually would be able to hear any emission dissipators, so I don't think I'm too worried. Kind of like how we determined, was it the Endeavor I think was what it was, or was it Endurance? I don't know which one was the macro turned light cruiser and which one was the broadside lances one. I only know of the Defiance, which is the carrier version. Nonetheless, we can kind of hear when they're all boosting ahead anyway. But that we definitely know there is something hidden. And only 2 ships, interesting. I almost want to say there's something going on with like their flagship high is just high in the gas cloud waiting for a micro warp jump opportunity. But at least I can potentially say that there's no slaughter fleet we have to worry about with armor piercing ammo. So far, I don't know what to expect. You don't normally see only 2 blips as far as actual fleet, ship contact, so. And the light cruisers, while are really damn mobile, they're going to be impossible for me to pin down. Their firepower is not really noteworthy, at least for the Lance Pennant. If they can get good bomber runs, which is possible. It's possible for the bombers to do some damage. Ooh, and I missed the scanner pulse, thankfully. I don't know where this frigate was, mind you, but hopefully it can rest easy a bit. Now I want to wait till this gets captured to maybe get the jump, at least board whatever frigate tries and grab this point. So, so far I have 2 objectives, 2 there with 1.
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, now we have 3 blips. Okay, I'm just tempted to grab this now while I can. And I think now maybe I can start setting up critical priorities, since maybe this will tell me if there's a frigate nearby. Since if this does not prompt a scanner pulse, I don't know what will. Since they see the center objective being captured right now. Okay, so we have the Retaliator. I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna try and recall and preserve that. Yeah, it is a Retaliator. Oh my god, I actually remember the proper name. Although I did get scanner pulsed. And I want to see if I could do damage to him. Probably not. Oh, engine critical hit already. That's always fun, isn't it? And I don't want to jump yet until I'm ready to disengage. But that might kill that 1 frigate off. And let's see. Oh, despoiler too. So what's the rest of the fleet, I wonder? I think my biggest priority though is killing these frigates off. We'll see if that works well or not. It could take the hits, but let's run with it. There we go. So, the scanner pulse deactivated at perfect time for me. Just gotta get everything moving. Actually, I should silent run with everything. Minimize this damage as much as I can. Besides for those that are already revealed. Actually, can I scanner pulse again? Nope. I thought there was only 1 charge available. I didn't realize I had multiple. But still, this should go well. Yeah, my fighters are just being denied. I forgot about the ones that were launched earlier. So they're useless in this regard, but the Raider's gone. Actually, oh, did I seriously not group my Raiders? That's a little bit of a letdown on my part. Where's my last one with that said? I want to try and kill this thing off. Since that's 2, actually, we'll group you all together. Please ram me. You don't know how the armor mechanic works, I suppose. But I will happily take it, although now with 2 Grand Cruisers and a battleship, this is easily going to get negated. Just watch how quickly this thing's going to get neutralized just by a Grand Cruiser alone. This is going to suck for me on just the objective front. But at least so far, we kind of neutralized the 1 point they had. It's just a question if my opponent's willing to boost to grab the other ones. You have armor-piercing ammo. That is damn important to note. It may not be as scary as slaughters, mind you, but I do need to take that really damn seriously. And actually, I need to prioritize components too. The sooner the engines go down, the more likely I can get an effective lightning link in. So let's get ready for that. Keep at least 1 ship there to capture. I just gotta remember that it's also salt running.
You have seized a strategic area.
Alright, get into firing range. We'll flatten our arc a little bit to help with hitting here a bit. And scanner pulse for good measure. Actually, I already have 2 frigates here. Let's get them capturing points. Since I only need 2 raiders in all honesty, as far as keeping the scanner pulse going. I just need to pay attention. Oh, do you still have a frigate, mind you? So there goes my silent run shenanigans, but thankfully it only affected 1 ship. So far, anyway. And I'm gonna have to jump in a moment anyway, but can I get the critical hits I want, though? With that said. Since I could deal with these bombers easily enough, they're all bombers, mind you, and the stasis bomb's actually convenient. So staying this bomb's worth my time. Okay, what are you doing? Well, that was a weird looking type of effect. I still want to hit this ship, but the engine's refusing to die, alas. And I'm getting objectives stolen on my back door, too. Okay, engine's now gone. Can we capitalize on this? Sooner this thing dies, the better. I didn't mean to accidentally repair, but... but this looks promising. I just gotta make sure what's holding burning retros is actually burning retros, mind you. This is where it's really easy to get full value out of the lightning link. Just burn the engines and I'm too close for torpedoes if that's what you're trying to do. And it's not going to be much of a ram. Oh, I gotta say, where the hell is the highlight that I permanently destroyed your engines? Unless I accidentally turned off the overlay without realizing it. Either way, that's a Grand Cruiser gone. I'm capturing the point on the far west there, the left. And we got assault boats. So let's deal with them, ideally. Oh, and now I can see a highlight. Okay, I was wondering about that. Do I have another Jackal? Where is the other one? Oh, it's way over there. Because I still haven't burned retros. My bad. Damn it! I hit the wrong hotkey again. So that was short-lived. I'll worry about you later. You're only one frigate. And 10 seconds for that mark. Ooh, engine's temporarily damaged, so that's good. Although, until its combustion turns off, it's all ahead full. That doesn't matter. Oh, never mind. Repaired. Now, everyone, engage the Grand Cruiser. So long as we can deal with the fighters, I can tank these shots incredibly well. Since, again, armor-piercing round is going to be dangerous for this thing. Hell, actually, this has the twin linked. Is it the merged macro battery? So, I'm wrong. They can do noteworthy damage fast, but at the same time, there's only 3 of these as opposed to like 5 slaughters, 6 slaughters at this point, maybe with the buff to almost all the ship's point cost. So I don't think I'm worried just yet. My Doom Scythes are doing the one thing I need of them, which is mitigating their main source of damage at this point. Now, Jackals, let's get you moving. And see about grabbing this point. I think we're done here. I've had some interesting strokes of luck trying to fight a straight-up battle, mind you. Which normally is not the case here. Especially, again, armor-piercing ammo, which I need to take incredibly seriously. And it won't be another 30 seconds until I can repair the engines on this thing. Hell. Okay, I was worried this thing had no weapons on with the icons I was getting. No, it can still fight. And so long as this is nowhere near... Actually, hold that thought. Can I get any Doom Scythes? Nope, I can't, so... Not yet. Now I can get Doom Scythes. I think they're too little too late, though, actually... Oh, never mind, they did intercept it. It was conveniently... If basically how the fighters work, I think, unless they directly collide with the ships, or the fighters, or they get to their actual objective, or where I tell them to patrol to, they're just going to fly past the other, what is it, the assault boats or the bombers. So it can make for a very awkward exchange if you control the fighters or launch them poorly, I suppose. And nonetheless, we're capturing this one point here. I have Lightning Link available, so now can we kill the engines? No, I was about to hit J again. It's a good thing I hesitated to double check. And the engines are gone. You know what that means. I am sorry, but... Oh, I am sorry, but you're about to concede, I guess. That was brutal. It was a bit of an odd fleet, mind you. It wasn't like all Acrons, it was strictly a carrier fleet. With armor-piercing ammo, oddly enough. So I don't know how I feel about that, since... Honestly, they didn't do a whole lot. Thankfully with my Doom Scythes. If there was like a single fighter squadron, that could almost single-handedly deal with all 5 of my Doom Scythes, leaving the bombers and assault boats plenty of opportunity to kind of do damage to me. So I don't know how I feel about that in all honesty.